um, type thing. So I think that 1 month stretch in their season was what made the difference on like the lines and everyone's thoughts and whatever. But at the end of the day, they just match up so well versus everyone.
Another one for the world, another one for the listeners, and maybe for the girls. See, I can't dribble a ball, but I can fiddle with y'all.
Welcome to the Third Leg Podcast, episode number 2. If you're new here, I'm your host, Riley Warren. Alongside me is Dr. James Donovan. How you doing today, buddy?
Pretty good, Riley. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. We got a lot to talk about basketball-wise today. Did you catch up on the women's basketball championship last night and the little drama going on over there?
I did. I could not believe the amount of blow up that had. My social media feed was just crazy with that today. But it was good to see that, the girls went out, had a good game. Obviously, LSU walked away with it, and a lot of people were picking Caitlin Clark to come through. But the drama that ensued was what we'll probably talk about for a good portion of today's episode, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. My Facebook and Twitter has been blown up about this drama, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and all the trash talking and everyone else's narratives on, coming into the season, coming into the tournament. Like, Caitlin Clark was that girl, Everyone was saying she deserves the MVP. She's been the best in the tournament, stat wise. There's things she's done this year that nobody's ever done, and they're saying even with the loss that they think that she deserved the MVP. What do you think about that?
No, I mean it's a good point. I think she had like a 2-game streak of over 40 points. She led her team to beating South Carolina in the Final Four, which South Carolina had like a 40-plus game win streak going on, which is absolutely insane. And ultimately, like, she made the game of basketball exciting to watch for people.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this drama is actually good for the women's basketball in general. There's been many years that, a championship goes by and the next day it's on to the men's. Who cares about yesterday's women's national championship game? And today, that's all people's been talking about. So whether or not you agree with shit talking on the court or not, you can't deny the fact that it's going to and has brought in more eyes and viewership to the sport than, anything else has. When you have kind of like the good guy, bad guy scenario going on, it kind of gives someone to root for. Especially when you didn't watch the sport to begin with. So now you have like a Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. Like, you're going to pick one of those, and now you might continue watching because of them. Where if this didn't happen, there could have been a lot of viewers that, aren't going to watch next year or keep up with these athletes in the off time and stuff like that. So in general, I think it was really good for the sport.
No, absolutely. And it goes to show with just how much viewership there was for this tournament. Just saw some stats earlier today for, Elite 8 or Sweet 16, there was 73% gain compared to last year for viewership. Elite 8 game between Iowa and whoever. Damn it, 1 second. We're going to have to cut that for sure.
All good, buddy. I think it was the Iowa-South Carolina game. Wasn't that the one? Or you're talking about?
I got it. 1 second. All right, so in the Elite 8 game, Iowa versus South Carolina, there was 2.5 million viewers, which is more than any NBA game that has aired on ESPN this season. And then to break that even further, Iowa versus South Carolina in the Final Four, there was like 5.5 million viewers, which, again, most aired or comparatively to any NBA game on ESPN this season. So hopefully, based on what you were talking about and what the viewers have been showing, hopefully they can continue to snowball effect this momentum that they have and continue to grow the interest and the popularity of the women's basketball sport, because it has been lacking compared to the men's, and it's always a talking point, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I can promise you that ESPN is going to run with this story for as long as they can. There's going to be a Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese second matchup type of thing going into the year. Like, it's it's basically just going to be these two ladies that are going to be front runners for Player of the Year. So it's going to be a big talking point regardless. And then, honestly, it was just really fun to see them in the game competing. Caitlin Clark had like 6 threes in the first half. You can't take anything away from them. You can't take anything away from Iowa and what they did going and leading them to the national championship. But hats off to LSU. Congrats to them on their championship, first ever. So it's kind of cool just to even be talking about the sport in general. Because I'm not going to lie, I've watched more Russian table tennis in the last 3 months than I've watched total NCAA basketball games in my entire life. So the fact that we're even talking about it, hats off. Women's basketball is back.
Right, absolutely. And it like the coach for LSU, she's now in the argument for like greatest women's coach of all time too, with like Pat Summitt and Gino Auriemma. She built up the last program that she was at. I'm blanking on the name of that one right now, but then she came to LSU right after Baylor. She was at Baylor before that. Took them to a national powerhouse. Now has LSU in the national championship. Great to see. A little fun fact that we heard about before, the national championship, as far as Caitlin Clark goes, when she was growing up, she used to play AAU basketball with the boys because they couldn't find a girls' team where she was at. And then her team won the state championship. And then there was parents from the other teams complaining that she needs to play with the girls. Which
Oh
I was
my
just
God.
like, good God.
Can you imagine what she would do to the opposing girls team? She's starting in a men's or the guy side, winning state titles. Can you imagine what she would be doing to those females over there?
Right. I mean,
60, 70 points. I'm serious.
It's tough to imagine, but it's just awesome. It just goes to show what kind of competitor she is. She has that skill. She is fun to watch, and if she does come back for another year at Iowa, it might be something I tune into more next year.
Yeah, absolutely. She's got that dog in her. I like players that play and they talk that shit. I really don't care. I'm all about it. Especially it's national championship game. Do you know what the you can't see me like thing reminded me of? It reminded me of Tampa Bay's free safety when he did it to Tyreek Hill. You remember that in the championship game? He was like on the ground because they just got an interception or whatever, and he does it back to him. Like Tyreek did it to everyone in the league, and when it goes against them, and then people are up in like a rise, they're all pissed off, and it's just like it comes back around. If you talk shit, it'll come back around
eventually.
And, yeah, a lot of MJ says it. Like anyone can talk shit when they're winning, but if you're still talking shit when you're losing, that's you're a dog. Like that's just how you play. That's just who you are. I like to see that out of Caitlin Clark, and I love to see it out of Angel Reese. She has probably gained the most following out of any like women's athlete, especially at the collegiate level, in this like tiny short period of time. Like this last month, her social imprint has probably went through the roof. She is a household name at this point, and which isn't usually a thing for women's basketball. So, like I said, it's good for the sport. Gives us some talking points as well, so you can't be mad. But yeah, all around, it was a really good game, and it's good to see them play and compete how they did.
Absolutely. I can't reemphasize that enough. I hope that they continue to snowball this so they can continue to grow that sport.
Yeah, I think that AAU thing, going back on that, you're just mad as a parent seeing your kid get their ass whipped by a female. I think that just, get her off the court, put her with the females. That's basically what these dads, I would imagine, are saying on the AAU side of it. Like, they're just watching their kids get crushed. That's a little deflating. So
definitely sad. That's for sure. Yes,
it's sad on that point, but it's a good story for her. It definitely probably, kind of gave her that edge that she has. She don't give a fuck, and it's cool to see that.
Absolutely.
Rolling off of basketball, let's talk about the NCAA men's national championship game tonight. UConn versus San Diego State University. The line is -7.5 for UConn, and the over/under is at 131.5. What are you thinking on this one, Jay?
I think SDSU is actually going to pull it out. They'll cover. I don't know about the win, but I think they do cover the 7.5. Obviously, with my predictions for the final 4 games, I was a little off. They didn't end up winning by 5, but much the same goes with this game. UConn plays a slow pace. SDSU, crazy defense. They have the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year as their big man, and they guard the 3-point line crazy. So if Sonogo can't get going and Dawkins isn't hitting, it's bad news for UConn.
It's going to be a long night for UConn if Sonogo is not playing like he has been. He's kind of just been the front runner for him, and he's given his guards a lot more one-on-one opportunity where the big man can't step up and kind of help in the paint because you got the lob and the dish to Sonogo. And even if so, you got the help defense. It clears everyone else up. So there's going to be a little more one-on-one matchups for the guards tonight. I like that for San Diego State. I am also on the side of San Diego State covering, but I have UConn winning. I think UConn wins by 2 or 3 points tonight. I think the big dog does what the big dog does, and he eats. I like his line over 15.5. I just think he's got him thus far. If UConn wins tonight, it's going to be on the back of his shoulders, you know?
No, absolutely. I think it'll be like one of the, immovable object meets the unstoppable force kind of games, which is going to give first the efficiency for UConn's offense or SDSU's crazy, tenacious defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have any plays for the over-under, but I do lean the over on this one. I like the 131.5. If the game script goes as I imagine it in my head, 3-4 point game, it's going to be 6, 7, 8 points just off of free throws in the last minute or two. Never know with OT, whatever. I would lean the over 131.5 and San Diego State plus 7.5.
I'm with you on that. I've seen a lot of people saying take UConn like in a little same game parlay to win first half and money line for full game just to kind of avoid the whole spread. But I agree, 131 seems low. If you look at both of these teams' matchups for the Final Four, Elite Eight, Sweet 16, they've all been right around, if not over the 131. So I don't see where it goes under.
Yeah, I see. I think the only way it goes under if UConn has an abysmal field goal percentage tonight. Big Dog only gets like 8 points. They're chucking threes. They're down 10 points at some point. I think that's the only way the game kind of gets out of hand and somehow stays under.
Yeah, if SDSU is like manhandling UConn on the defensive end, it could very well go under. But if it's a close game or if UConn's blowing them out, I think it goes over pretty easy.
For sure. Just to bring up about last episode, I don't think the fasting mattered one bit, brother.
It didn't. I thought it was a good point, though. They're not intaking calories. They don't have any hydration prior to game. So it's always something to look about. But, it just goes to show he's been doing this for his whole life. So he's used to it.
He was starving all day and game time came and he fucking ate. That's all I'm going to say. He ate. Sent him to the championship.
For sure. He did a very good job. He played very well. He got UConn to the national championship. SDSU, it was a little bit sweatier. And good Lord, that final shot got people screaming at the basement that I was watching the game, and it was awesome.
Oh, I bet. You must have been one of them because you almost got full faded on the first episode. One shot away, buddy. I was going 2-0 on the day. You got lucky. We'll split it this time.
We'll split it this time for the first episode. That's perfectly fine. I will say STSU didn't cover the 5, like I said. They didn't even cover the 2.5, but they got to the championship game. Lamont Butler, awesome shot. Can't even imagine.
The craziest thing about that clip is how close he was to the baseline when he made his little sidestep and gave himself enough room for the pull-up. Like, he is a centimeter away from hitting the baseline, and the ref is standing right there. Like, if you play it back, it just looks insanely close. And it goes overlooked because everyone's just looking at the ball and the shot clock, But if you wind that back, dude, basketball's a game of inches just like football. That was absolutely insane. Because he didn't even, notice the baseline. He kind of just made his move, and it was so close to being out and game over. He would have no idea,
Can you imagine what we would have been talking about had he'd blown the whistle, they kept going, he hits the shot.
Oh my fucking God.
Good Lord.
Dude, yeah, that would be insane. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen, honestly, because that would just be dreadful as an SDSU fan.
Amen. We would, that's all everyone would be talking about.
I did see San Diego State's coach in this tournament. He got his first tournament win. San Diego State got their first Sweet 16 win. First Elite Eight, Final Four, now they're in the championship. Like, this is just a magical run. It's hard to say, it's hard to bet against them. You know, it's like being at the roulette table and there's been 6 blacks in a row. Are you that guy that's going up there and putting red, or are you like, I'm just riding it?
I mean, personally, I'm going up there and I bet against streaks, but
I'm the same way. Fucking degenerates, man.
Yep. But I mean, if you look at it, both teams are that way. Like UConn
for sure.
has been on an unbelievable, trip, and then SDSU is doing well. I mean, it doesn't hurt that their coach is from, used to coach at Michigan as well. So
yeah, I think UConn's story this year was a little different because they lost like 6 out of 8 games on a stretch, and if that stretch doesn't happen, they're coming into the tournament as top 5 favorites because they were on such a heater, and then they went through a slump and people just forgot about them. Nobody was saying UConn was going to win at all. I follow a few people who said like nobody wants to play UConn. They're a good team. They match up well. But nobody was saying I didn't get any headway of like, hey, take UConn as the black horse type thing. So I think that 1 month stretch in their season was what made the difference on like the lines and everyone's, thoughts and whatever. But at the end of the day, they just match up so well versus everyone.
Yeah, I mean, and then it goes to show with their first round game, Rick Pitino says to everyone, this is a national championship team. Like, this is the best team we played all year. They have all the tools to win the national championship. An all-time great coach saying that you can't. There's nothing better. Yeah,
it's undoubtable at that point. Let's talk about episode 1's results on our PrizePicks and our DraftKings, our bets. So the PrizePicks, we had Diaz over 0.5 strikeouts or batting outs. Had Nolan Gorman over 0.5 bases, and then we had Spencer Strider over 6.5 Ks. All 3 of them banged plus 500. If you tailed it, good shit. If you haven't and you're not on PrizePicks, check the link below. 100% deposit match bonus for you.
Shout out PrizePicks, and if you want to get the picks before we even post the podcast, get in our Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. The Discord link below. If you're listening to on YouTube or Spotify, the links will be below. For our free Discord server, we put out all our plays before the day, and if we are recording our podcast late, like we are tonight, it is about 9 o'clock, 8:45, 9 o'clock right now when we're recording this, pre-game to the national championship. If we have our picks, and then we're going to talk about them tonight, we'll post them in the Discord so you can get in on them before they start. So if we record early, you'll have plenty of time. We'll have the podcast out and you'll be able to listen and post your plays, or you can just hit up Discord and we'll have everything on there. If you miss a day of the podcast, you'll still know what we're playing. Just check the link out below on our free Discord server. And check out PrizePicks too. Shout out PrizePicks. Our second play we had was our DraftKings. We had the under 70 in the first half of the UConn Miami Final Four game. W, 61 points. We had Spencer Strider W. Dunny was on Spencer Strider heavy, and he came through. Absolute W from Spencer Strider. He came out there up like 5-0. He had 5 Ks in the first 3 innings. He was smoking them. Dunny had a massive call on that one. And our last leg that unfortunately got absolutely smoked was the Phillies money line. No worries, the Mr. Coin Snatch. He went 1 for 1. We appreciate him a lot. Shoot him a follow at the Coin Snatcher. He's actually going to defend his PrizePicks 1-0 tonight. And What has he got for us tonight? He's got James K for Oakland pitcher or the Oakland pitcher under 16.5 pitching outs. I have Sonago's over 15.5 points for UConn, and Dunny has CJ Cron under 6.5 fantasy score.
I'm on full fade CJ Cron today. He struggles away. If you look at his stats or splits for last year, he was around a 300 hitter at home, hit just barely 200 on the road, and then he's playing in LA, and then the LA pitcher does pretty well against righties. So I'd love to. Oh, I'm on full fade CJ Cron tonight.
Full fade. Speaking of full fade, let's just roll into the DraftKings pick we have tonight. Speaking of Dunnies, he's got CJ Cron under 1.5 hits or RBIs. So if you're on CJ Cron tonight, you better smack the under. Dunny's got to read. I am on San Diego State plus 7.5. I already talked about this. I think San Diego State's going to cover. I still think UConn's going to win, but I like to cover San Diego State plus 7.5. It's just really big in a championship game. And then we have Midwest _ Cappers as our DraftKings third leg today. Follow him on Twitter. Great dude. We've been following each other for a few years now. He's got a really good community on Twitter. Real friendly guy. Shoot him a follow. Show him some love. He has Jose Abreu over 1.5 bases on DraftKings, and that's a plus 115. So San Diego State plus 7.5, Jose Abreu over 1.5 bases, and CJ Cron under 1.5 hits or RBIs. That's going to total in at plus 467 on DraftKings. Hopefully
we can go 6 for 6 tonight and get 2 green check marks on your bet slips tonight.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
We went 5 for 6 on the first episode. You cannot be mad about that.
You can't draw. Well, you can draw it up better if it went 6 for 6, but you can't be mad with how everything went.
No, I mean, let's just say we've had plenty of worse days.
Yes, we have. I think I'm single-handedly bankrolling the entire DraftKings organization.
Oh shit. So that PrizePicks was going to be a plus 500 because it was a 3-leg. I didn't get to go over that real quick, but it's going to be a plus 500 for the 3-leg and plus 467 for the DraftKings tonight. Shout out the Coin Snatcher on Twitter and at Midwest _ Cappers. Appreciate you guys a lot for being in the lab and hooking up some free plays for us.
Absolutely. I mean, the Coin Snatcher, I followed him on Twitter and Instagram. He followed me back. We talked a little bit. It's sweet to see, the growth and the support we get from everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just take a minute to say thank you to everyone for listening to the first episode. Follows, likes, shares, reviews, anything that you did to help us out. We greatly appreciate it as small podcast just getting started. Literally any like, share, comment, subscription, anything helps us a millionfold. So I just want to say thank you to all the supporters already. I know we're young and we're only doing our second episode, but I just want to get that out there and show you we're really appreciative and we thank you. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. Everything Riley said 100-fold. Cannot appreciate you guys enough.
Yeah, and it's the support has been a little overwhelming, to be honest. I didn't think I would have so many people texting me hey, listen to the pod. You guys did great, for the first pod, it looks like you guys have been a little seasoned type thing, so it was cool getting that from my peers and, family and stuff. So I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's been something that I've wanted to do for almost a year now, and finally formulated the plot, came up with the name, got my co-host, and now we're here. So it's cool to see everything, the game plan work out. And we're finally doing what we sought out to do. So shout out to you guys. Without you guys, there would be no reason to do this. So much love from the Third Leg Podcast and Parlays Only. We really do appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
So roll off the slips for tonight. What was I going to say? What else we want to talk about? We kind of rolled through that shit a little quick, eh, buddy?
We can talk about Detroit if you want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You can start that.
All right, so just coming straight from the betting. Talk about the opening weekend. You know, we're kind of previewing what the Tigers we were expecting, and it turns out they're still pretty darn bad.
Exactly as expected.
Yes. Everything we hoped for really wasn't there this weekend. They're starting a tough road series this week against Houston, which reigning champs and arguably the best team in the AL.
Favorites to win it all this year. Tough to start the year out against them, and you know their pitching core. You know it's hard to get some runs off of them, so it's not the best way to start your hitting performance.
Absolutely. I will say if you didn't watch every game, I certainly didn't watch every out. The one clip that we could show to kind of give you a recap of how the Tigers weekend went.
Don't do it.
There was 4 Tigers all coming in on a pop-up, and then all 4 Tigers backed off at the same time.
I got it. No, you got it. Fuck!
You had it.
Fuck!
Yep, and instantly my mom texted me, "Did you see that? Blah, blah, blah. Where did we get these guys? Come on!"
Oh, no. Yep. Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Shout out
hilarious.
Mama Dunny.
Yes, sir. Hey, sometimes things just don't change, man. And if you're a Detroit fan in any sense, it has been rough.
Absolutely. You know, obviously, the Tigers team typically starts out pretty slow. As it starts to warm up, they normally get the bats to come alive. I would just like to see where we compete. You know, make it a 1-2 run game where you have a chance if you get hot in the 8th, 9th inning that you could make some noise. The blowouts are just obviously not fun for anyone to watch.
Yeah, just give your fans something to watch and cheer for. Even though we know we're not competing for a championship, it's still our team. We want to watch. We want to see the players do well. We want to get like a narrative of the players and have favorite players and stuff. And you typically won't have a favorite player if they all suck. So we need some people to show up and give some life to the organization at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely. I will say AL, I like Houston, even though I think they split with the White Sox this weekend. NL, I really like the Braves. I like watching them. Ronald Acuna is my sleeper for MVP of the year this year. He's tearing it up, and actually tonight's game he is 2 for 2 with the home run already. So,
Jeez.
Yep, it's
hey, we didn't have him in our Super Goats, did we?
No,
Unlucky.
we did not.
Unlucky. Ramirez, we're looking at you, buddy.
Yep, we are.
We're looking at you.
And Bregman, him and Bregman.
Is Bregman still over?
Oh yeah, he literally hasn't got.
Say it ain't so.
I think he's literally 0 for 14 right now.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Disgusting. Yeah, it's just tough being a Detroit sports fan right now. Growing up, our favorite teams obviously sucked, but we still had Wings, we still had the Tigers, and every once in a while, you know, the Pistons were good.
The Malice at the Palace Pistons.
Yes, sir. Malice at the Palace Pistons. That's all we had. And now those are gone. And now we're hoping for the Lions. All the hopes in the Lions. You see what's going on?
How the turntables.
How the turntables. We had like the rest of the Detroit sports is holding up the Lions organization, as in like, yeah, we love all Detroit sports. And now Detroit football is the only team that we have hope for, like in the future, next 3 years, next 5 years. You know, you could say NBA all you want with the Pistons, but great googly moogly if you watch it, you don't have any faith. You really don't. You have hope and a prayer.
And you had hope this season, and you're fighting for the number 1 overall pick this year. So, like,
yeah. So going into next year, people that had hope this year, you know, you're down about 30% of hope going into the next year, regardless, unless we get Victor. If we get Victor, I mean, that bandwagon's going to get pretty heavy.
Chalk it up, playoffs. Here we come.
Oh, playoffs, top 3. We're not even in the play-ins, man. Fuck the play-in games. Give us Victor.
Amen. Amen.
Oh yeah, buddy. Let's cut it short today. Let's just do a short little second one, 30 minutes, short and sweet for you guys. We're gonna watch the national championship game, and on the next episode, we'll talk about that and the rest of the sports news that's going on.
Yep, we'll look to recap the championship games from tonight. Look forward to the Masters that starts up on Thursday, and then MLB baseball going into the weekend.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. We appreciate you guys. Check out all the links below. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the socials. Show us some love. We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple. We're everywhere. Wherever you can find podcasts, you can find us. So once again, we really do appreciate any and all support. Sorry for cutting it a little short today. Next one we'll have a little longer, but we do appreciate all the support. Much love from the Third Leg Podcast and Parlays Only. Much love to you guys. See you next time.
Adios.
Peace.
Another one for Tommy boy. Another one for the world. Another one for the listeners. And maybe for